Time now for Sid 6-0. This is where I get 60 seconds to talk about whatever. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. Before yesterday's NHL trade deadline, Toronto Maple Leaf fans were very concerned about the team's goaltending situation. The worst in hockey since the start of the calendar year. And they weren't alone. General Manager Kyle Dubas was also a little concerned at what he was seeing. According to several reports, as recently as last week, Dubas was talking to the Chicago Blackhawks about a big deal that would have seen the Leafs potentially pick up goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury, who struggled this season, but he's a year removed from winning the Vezina Trophy as the league's best goaltender. Also, he has 3 Stanley Cups, which I'm told is really, really good. Now, yesterday at his post-trade deadline news conference, Dubas essentially admitted that these talks were going on with Chicago. And he wasn't happy that the reports did come out saying, quote, "I'm disappointed those conversations went public. It's a first for me that those conversations went public. The Leafs are standing pat, but that was not Dubas's first choice." Donnovan Bennett of Sportsnet joining us. Donnovan, if you are Jack Campbell, who's injured and hopefully will be back soon, if you're goaltender Peter Mrazek of the Leafs, and you're seeing those reports that Fleury was in the ether, does that motivate you or does that hurt the situation, do you think?
Great question. And I actually didn't know which direction you were going to go with this topic this morning. So I'm pleasantly surprised that you didn't rip the Maple Leafs to start our morning.
There's still time. There's still time.
I think you're a bit, I think you're giving a boost of confidence because, listen, they could have put more chips in the table to get out Marc-Andre Fleury. I think they prioritized shoring up that defense, and which is maybe even more of importance given the fact that Rasmus Sandin is now injured. Jake Muzzin will come back from injury eventually. But I think they're like, okay, we're giving us a chance to fight our way back into this and giving us the tools to be good goaltenders because Giordano helps that blue line and gives their goaltenders a fighting chance. So I think this is a bit of show of faith that they didn't pay over what really the market value should be on a rental goalie, and they're trusting their guys. Let's be honest, they're trusting Jack Campbell specifically down the stretch. However, they did also try to sign another goalie. Like let's not forget that Harry Saturi was signed and then lost on waivers to the Arizona franchise. A guy who was in the KHL and most recently in the Olympics, left winning that as well. So they were really trying to find a goaltender who had won something at some point, because their goaltenders haven't won much recently. But I'm glass half full. Looking at this, if I'm one of them, I'm saying this is a boost of confidence that they didn't go crazy at the deadline. They had a line that they were willing to draw. How do you see it?
If you're going against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, you asked, I'll answer. The 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions with Andrei Vasilevsky in net, one of the best goaltenders in the world. The guy looks like he's 7'2" in pads. And Jack Campbell has never played more than 40 games in the regular season. And Peter Mrazek, contrary to whatever Dubas said at that press conference yesterday, has no real serious track record in this league. He's a .909 save percentage goalie. There's a lot of guys who do that, and they're not very good. I was born, but not yesterday. Don't tell me you're ready for that series. Mark Giordano is going to help you. 100% he's going to help you. I'm a fan of Mark Giordano. This team is brutally exposed in the crease right now. You cannot trust Campbell. I hate to say that because he's one of the nicest guys in the league. But you can't trust Campbell. Mrazek, no franchise has trusted Mrazek in any serious capacity, which is why Carolina let him walk for nothing. And just the gaslighting of we're going to be okay is going to cost people their jobs here if they're not okay. And I got news for you. If they got Tampa in the first round of the playoffs, they're not going to be okay. If they have with Fleury in net, that's a 6-game series for the Leafs against Tampa because Tampa's still that good. I think this was a huge missed opportunity. I'd rather you get Fleury than Giordano. That's basically the decision he had to make. And they're going to pay for it. I think they're going to pay for it. They're going to really pay for it. This is not goaltending any team wants to take into the postseason. This is a mistake. This is a huge miss. And I really hope Kyle knows what he's doing. Because this looks really odd to me, to have this situation into the biggest postseason he's ever had, him and Brendan Shanahan, president, running this hockey team.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, it has been 8 years, so it's been a while. We do have to say, though, that Fleury had a no move, and given his family considerations, it's not a done deal. He would have come to Toronto.
Who knows?
I'm surprised you would who knows? Prefer, really, what you're deciding is Fleury or Jack Campbell and Giordano. I'm surprised you would take Fleury in that situation, because the defense would have still been a mess, whether the Flower was in net
True.
or not. But given the cap issues, you couldn't really have both unless you're putting Muzzin on the shelf for the rest of the regular season, which is also not a great idea. So lots of tough decisions. And listen, when you pay essentially 4 forwards, the majority of your cap, this is what's going to happen.
Them's the breaks. That's one of the truest things ever spoken, what you just said. Donnovan, love you. Appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you.
Leaf fans, it'll be interesting, no doubt. I hope I'm wrong.